Chickles should not be allowed to shoot this man. He didn't do anything wrong. Look at that face. Look at how innocent this man is. Today we're going to be checking out a video from Zoello Apps where he's going to be training an AI to shoot an arrow. We'll see if this man is Robin Hood, maybe Katniss, or maybe like a stormtrooper with a bow. Let's find out.
This is Chickles. And
Chickles.
this is his assistant
Chickles,
Pogo.
huh?
In this video, Chickles will
Pogo.
have to learn how to be
I mean, Chickles, I don't think his parents loved him very much if they gave him that name. Gonna be honest
a professional
with
bowman. And at the end, we will find out from how far away he can hit the target. In case you're wondering how exactly will Chickles
Okay.
learn to do that, the idea is quite simple. Chickles is
Oh,
able to
quite-
perform
quite
three
simple?
actions. First action is aiming. The
Okay, we
AI
gotta-
can tilt his body up and down to
Okay,
aim for the
I
required
see.
trajectory. Initially, the plan was to have him move horizontally as well.
Yep.
This would allow for more variability in the position
Exactly.
of the target, but, well, let's just say there was a small problem with that.
It does make the challenge a lot less interesting if he's just aiming up and down, but if we had to train it from this all the way to actually good aiming, I get it. That would be ridiculous. My man, his whole head is clipped underground. You gotta do better than that, Chickles.
Second action is charging the bow. The more
Okay.
the bow is charged, the stronger force will be applied to the
Okay.
arrow once it is released. By the way, the arrows will then follow a physics-based trajectory. That's why a perfect combination of aiming and charging will be necessary to hit targets at various
see.
range.
Yep.
Last thing Chickles can do is, of course, releasing the arrow. This one is quite self-explanatory. Chickles can detect the
seems pretty
exact
simple.
position and distance to the target using ray casts, which are basically his
Okay.
eyes. Our AI shoots 20 rays forward at a distance of 50 meters, which proved to be an issue afterwards, but we'll come back to this issue
Okay.
later in the video.
Yeah, that is... If you wanted to make it the most natural, this does seem like the easiest way. It's just simulating sight. Given how simple the situation is, I probably would have manually told the AI exactly where the apple was, but hey, we'll see how
A
this
dumb
works with the
baby that he
raycasts.
is, Chickles understands only the language of sticks and carrots, aka punishment and reward.
Oh,
He
yep.
will be rewarded based on the distance between landed arrow and the target, which in
Okay.
this case is the apple. Shorter the distance, larger the reward. Also, he gets an additional reward for hitting the target. I
Ah.
planned on punishing him for hitting Pogo, but I couldn't make myself do that. Just look at him jiggle.
We still here. Just to suffer.
I mean, he's really doing my man Pogo dirty. Chickles should not be allowed to shoot this man. He didn't do anything wrong. Look at that face. Look at how
Just look
innocent
at him
this man
jiggle.
is. Nah, he needed a punishment if he
Sorry,
misses a
Pogo.
shot that
I
bit.
have been training 37 parallel instances. Don't ask me why exactly 37. You'll have to accept this oddly specific number and move on. There were 3 different training sessions, each of
Okay.
increasing complexity. First session took a little more than 13,000 iterations, and
Wow.
here the target would appear at a close range to Chickles, so he could learn the basics.
Okay, makes sense.
Pogo would be spawned at a random range between 5 and 20 meters, and Chickles had 10 arrows each round.
Yeah, he has to randomize the distance or else he's just going to learn specifically how to hit the apple in one spot. He's not even going to pay attention to his eyes.
Initially, the dude was kinda lost, randomly shooting arrows, but
Yep.
soon after, the arrows started getting closer and closer to the target, and 2 iterations later, the first bullseye was hit. Once Chickles mastered shooting the bow at small distances, it was time for session 2, which
Oh.
took around 8,000.
Oh, he's hitting all of them there. That's good. Let's go, Chickles.
Which took around 8,000 iterations. Despite the target now being spawned as far as 50 meters from Chickles,
Dang.
it proved not to be too big of a challenge, and the arrows were falling pretty close. It wasn't too long until the first target hit from big distance.
Boom.
To the end, Chickles would hit almost
Let's go,
every
Chickles.
arrow, no matter how far it was. The results are pretty.
Although
the
he-
end,
he-
Chickles would
he-
hit almost every arrow, no
Well,
matter.
he is hitting my man a lot there. He did. Pogo's looking a little bit like a porcupine right now.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. But you
Chickles does need to watch out. Again, it probably would be better if he wasn't so okay with hitting his friend. If this was real life, we would not say that Chickles is a successful archer. in that case.
matter how far it was. The results are pretty impressive, and it was getting late, so I decided to call it a day.
Okay.
But then, an idea struck my mind. What if I let Chicos train the whole night? Will it become even better than it is now? And so after more than 57,000 iterations, here is the final result.
What do we got?
We will
Show
start
me.
with a target distance of 5 meters, and if at least one arrow out of 10 hits,
Excuse me, could you say that in American? 5 meters? Come on, man. What is this, like 15 feet or something?
the distance will increase in the next round, and so until no arrow hits the apple. First 2 arrows easily hit
Okay.
bullseye, but not as easy as hitting the like and subscribe button. The third arrow, for some reasons, breaks the law of physics and passes through the ground. So here is our first miss. Every arrow afterwards hits the target without
Okay.
any issue.
I mean, he's right there. He definitely should not be missing. Although I wonder if the bobbing of the target affects his accuracy at all.
Which gives us 90% accuracy for round 1. Up to a good start. Round 2 is at a 15-meter distance, but that
Okay.
is not an issue for our archer. Full of confidence, he smoothly lands arrow
Chickles
after
is out
arrow.
here.
By the way, I love how after every shot he lowers the bow for a while, which makes it look like he's actually loading an arrow. Despite the target being 3 times further than in the first round, Chickles doesn't miss a single arrow, finishing
Let's
round
go.
2 with 100% accuracy and convincing me one more time that the previous miss was just a fluke. Round 3, and now the target is twice as far, standing at 30 meters from Chickles.
Now he's starting to get to an actual
And
distance.
right in the target.
Hey,
I was already
let's
starting to believe
go.
that nothing can stop our little archer, but then this happened. Ouch, that must have hurt.
Bro, come on. I'm sorry, Chickles, but it's zero tolerance. I mean, in the business, we call that one manslaughter. You can't just be out here shooting people up with the bow.
Luckily, the next 2 arrows hit the apple instead,
Let's go.
but then our green arrow misses another shot.
Wait, did it? Because... Oh, this one.
Overall, round
I really do wonder if it's the bobbing of the head that makes it miss occasionally. It probably would have worked better if he was rewarded more for hitting a bullseye every time, because then he'd be less willing to go for some of these less accurate shots.
Overall, round 3 ends with an accuracy of 80%, having missed only
Still
twice.
not bad,
Time
though.
for round 4, and this one is special because the target sits at 50 meters from Chickles, and this is the largest distance at which he could meet Pogo during his training. He aims much more carefully this time, and boom! First arrow is a hit.
That was close, but a
And
hit.
The second one, another hit.
Wow.
Let's make it 3 in a row, baby.
Okay. Bro,
That must have hurt.
since it is actually physics-based, it looks like that arrow's hitting actually quite hard, given the arc and the strength down there.
The fourth
He's
arrow
gonna
is
blow this
also
man
right
away.
into the target. Chickles is actually nailing it so
He's
far.
about to miss one of these because of all the moves.
Ouch. Luckily, all 5 of the remaining
That's
arrows
messed up,
hit
man.
the apple, so
That's
Pogo
messed
gets
up.
to see another
That's
round.
just messed up.
This time, Pogo will be at 75 meters distance, and Chickles
he's gonna
started to
have-
realize it's nothing like the simulations. At such distance, Chickles was very confused and could not hit a single target, but here comes the plot
That's
twist.
because that's not how
Why
training
do you
works.
think Chickles fails to hit the target at 75 meters? Option
he never
A.
trained on it.
Chickles was trained at a maximum distance of 50 meters, so he didn't know how to act at larger distances. Option B. Training Chickles overnight made him overqualified for the 50-meter job,
Okay.
and that job only. Option C. Chickles' hands got tired from shooting.
That's a fair one.
Option D. The developer is an idiot and made mistakes in the simulation. If you chose
I mean, I would say one of these two. Well, I think we don't need to say idiot, but I'm just saying. I've had to set up some things in a simulation, and yeah.
D, then f you. Why would you ever think such of me? And also you're right. Basically, there were 2 issues which didn't allow Chickles to hit the target. First problem is the way the bow is rotated. If you look closely, you'll see that further the arrow flies, the more it goes to the left. I tried fixing that, I failed, and I accepted my fate, hoping it won't be an issue and nobody will notice. Well, also there is issue number 2. As I've mentioned at the beginning of the video, Chickles was using raycast instead of eyes. and the
Yes.
length of those rays was 50 meters. Yep, Chickles is unable to see anything further than that. Oops.
So he's literally just shooting blind, like, I don't know. And even if he could see it, the arrow would just veer way off to the side. Yeah. This is another reason why it might be better to just tell him, like, have someone to whisper in his ears, hey, Chickle, so the head is 75 meters away and at this angle. Because then it doesn't really matter how far away it is. He would know exactly how he was supposed to hit it. But, hey, mistakes happen. That's just life.
So yeah, despite the impressive start, our AI wasn't able to hit the 500 meters bullseye for now.
That was a pretty fun video. Shout out to Chickles, I guess. Still weird choice for the name, not gonna lie to you. But overall, I would put it somewhere definitely below Robin Hood or like Legolas. Probably closer to the Katniss range, although even Katniss didn't just be shooting her mans like that with the arrow. What you do? Anyway, shout out to Zuzella Apps for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and check it out. We'll leave a link to it in the description. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Peace.